This week, we're talking all about saying no. And today, we're going to talk about not chasing shiny objects. My name is Seth. For anybody who's new to the channel, welcome. I'm a full-time fantasy author, and I make videos about writing and being an author and life in general. So if that's the sort of thing you're into, definitely stick around. Life is full of distractions. There are always things that are going to vie for your attention. And there's a strange principle that reveals itself the further along in a career you get. The more successful you are, the more opportunities you'll have. This seems like it's backwards. It seems like it would be better if when you weren't yet successful, you had more opportunities. But that's not how life works. The better somebody is at something, the more opportunities they will get to do that thing. So if you have just started playing basketball, you're going to have some opportunity to play basketball, but you won't be able to play at the highest levels. On the other hand, if you have been playing basketball for a while and you are really, really good, you're going to find yourself getting offers from teams to come and play for them. Maybe getting college scholarships or even drafted into the NBA. The opportunities later in a career are just better. So why is this important, and what does it have to do with writing? Well, writing is no different. The more you write, and the further along in your author career you get, the more opportunities are going to pop up. And these opportunities are going to get better and better and better. Remember, I mentioned shiny object syndrome, the tendency to chase after shiny things. Well, the further along you are in your author career, the shinier the objects get, the more interesting the projects get, and again, the greater the opportunities. Now, opportunities exist at every level. Sometimes we mistakenly believe that if I'm a new writer, then I'm not going to be able to get opportunities at all. That's not true. It's just that the opportunities are different. So for instance, maybe you're a new writer and you decide you want to submit a short story to a magazine. You can go on their website, you can look up their submission process, and you can submit your short story. That's an opportunity. And your short story might get picked and might be published in the magazine. But as you get further in your career, maybe that same magazine comes to you and asks you for a featured story. When you're just starting out, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get into that magazine. But when you're further along in your career and you're asked for a feature, well, that's a guarantee that you're going to be pasted front and center in that issue. And so the opportunities just continue to get better and better and better. But the question is it a good idea to write that short story? There's a lot of wisdom and discernment that's needed in understanding what opportunities are good opportunities and what opportunities are not. And this is where the power of saying no really comes into focus. See, the best ideas and the biggest accomplishments take time and effort. And more importantly, effort over time. You might think of it this way. Every decision that you make in your life is a path. And anytime you spend effort and time on that decision, you're walking down that path. If we were to look at a map of the average person's life, you would find that it looks a lot like the spokes of a wheel, with millions of short paths pointing in all different directions. And that's because as they have spent their time and energy on different decisions, they've only gotten a few steps into the path before diverting their attention. If, on the other hand, you look at a map of someone who is highly accomplished, you'll find that they also have many short spokes, but they'll have far fewer, and they'll have one or maybe even a few really, really long ones. These long paths are places and decisions where they have put a lot of time and energy. Now, we know that time is a finite resource. You have from the moment you're born until the moment you die, and that's it. Time continues marching on, whether we like it or not. And every moment that passes is a moment we're never going to get back. And so every time you make a decision and you spend time and energy walking down that path, you're not walking down a different path. All of this boils down to a really simple principle. If you have already chosen a path, if you've decided that you're going to be an author, then spend your time there. If you've decided that you're going to be a musician, spend your time there. Walk down that path. Get as far down it as you possibly can. But that's going to require that habit that we talked about earlier this week. Saying no to all of the small things that surround us so that we can say yes to the big ones. The further you proceed down your chosen path, the shinier the distractions are going to be. The more tempting it will be to spend your time and energy on a completely different path, to do something interesting and cool. Don't get distracted by all of the things around you. Say no, and keep choosing to put your time and energy into what you've already chosen.